specific products due to today's current crisis and whatnot, to ensure that we provide the right services and products that you need at a reasonable price when it comes to medical face masks, when it comes to hand sanitizer, and when it comes to latex gloves and things of that nature, and et cetera and so forth, toilet paper, paper towels. But we have what you need. Also, family, don't forget that Larry's Anything Goes is a part of an affiliate marketing network known as Gold Standard Partners, where you have the opportunity to buy cryptocurrency and allow others to invest with you as becoming an affiliate marketing partner. And obviously, if they purchase a package with the program, you're able to make money off their package purchases and make money off of their crypto purchases and things of that nature. If you want to join, please follow the links in the description, and I'll give you a call as soon as you sign up and purchase a package, and we'll go from there. But definitely, it's all about the best way to make money moves is to have currency with one another and to ensure that currency is always being spoken of on all levels, so it benefits everyone and not just one specific person. That's a lot of things that people forget about. So think about joining the program, and we'll be able to go from there. But if not, either way, it's always appreciated. And thank you for watching. And hopefully you guys have a great day and continuously make money moves so you don't live broke like a fool. Take care. As you can see, with our various products, we have our financial apparel. As you see, wearing There's Anything Goes t-shirt, financial intelligence is sexy, face masks, latex gloves, things of that nature, to obviously ensure the safety of you and your family all at the same time. We want to ensure that you get the best products and see the actual products that we're actually providing for you, and giving you another view of not only the shirts and the medical masks, but actually another view of actual latex gloves and the actual hand sanitizer. Because one thing we've learned throughout this unfortunate crisis is that we have to take more precautionary measures to ensure not only the safety for ourselves, but for our families. And having a great pair of hand sanitizers, latex gloves, and medical face masks will ensure that safety. And with all that being said, hopefully you guys will check out our online store. We have the various products that you see here. With a couple of clicks, especially if you're paying via PayPal, it makes life that much easier for you to purchase our various products, especially during this unfortunate situation. You see the apparel from Larry's Anything Goes. We have the medical products when it comes to hand sanitizer, latex gloves, medical face masks, and things of that nature, and various other products. So please check out Larry's Anything Goes. Support small local businesses. We greatly appreciate it, and hopefully that you have a good day. How it goes, the family? Welcome back to Larry's Anything Goes. Hopefully, you guys having a great and exceptional night. All right, we're getting everything squared away. All righty, let's get it. Let's get it going tonight, family. Let me know how you guys are doing out there. All right, so we have all this things happening in regards to student loan debt. It's a topic that's been talked about for various amounts of time. Um, if you know, if you've seen my content for a minute, you know I'm not anti-college. I am definitely anti-student loan debt, and student loan debt is one of the main reasons why I feel like I'm a part of. I know I'm a part of the financial intelligence movement because I don't want to see any more generations of people um, go through what the millennial generation has gone through, go through what Gen Xers have gone through. And when I say going through that, I'm really meaning going through the fact that you have a debt that you can't get rid of. You know, car debt you can get rid of, house debt you can get rid of. You know, it's a crazy thing called turning over the keys, repo man when it comes to your car, or it's a crazy thing called foreclosure, or just selling the property, or just selling the car in itself. You know, a legal deal where hey, you agree to take on the debt, blah 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 blah. You talk to the lender, etc. and so forth. You know, but student loan debt, whole nother kettle of fish. I'm glad I did not have to take part in it. One, I'm glad that my dad set up and he hadn't find even his generation. You know, he was a baby boomer, so his generation did not have access to the internet, but they did have access to information. You just had to read more. So I'm glad that he set up insurance policies to ensure that if something bad happened to him, that um, my mother would receive a specific amount of money every month, and that money would continue if I went to school. And me joining the military, and the only reason why I joined just so I could get free college or whatnot. That was it. That was my goal. Get that, get the VA benefits in regards to getting a house and whatnot, and being able to join a business. Have a business and whatnot via the Small Business Administration. I from my father's mindset, he always looks at everything from a business perspective. And that's because everything in life is a business perspective. Even though a lot of people don't want to believe it, but it is what it is. It's like everything involves money. That's why I always laugh at the people that get into will have continuous debates and continuous debates about things that do not make them money. Because the one thing I can say about the kids, teenagers and kids coming up in today's world, they're not buying the rhetoric that the school system's giving them. They're not even buying the rhetoric that their parents are giving them. So I actually respect that and I admire that because they're like, look, I don't want to, I see these kids and they're like, look, I don't want to just work a job for the rest of my life and that's it. I want to be able to live life on my own terms. I know that making money via the internet is the way. Okay, it is the way. It is the new norm. Me just getting a job and being a conformist is not the norm. It's considered having a full-time job in today's world. There's nothing wrong with that. But in today's world, for the kids coming out of high school and college, it's actually frowned upon in a big way. And it's a lifestyle that they don't want to live, and I'm not even mad at it. It's like I'm actually I'm proud of this younger generation because I'm an 80s baby. They're like, hey, there is another way. So we're not going to listen to what the school system tells us. We're not going to listen to what the media tells us. We're going to go out and do some research on our own, you know, because we live in the information age and we can do that. And I think it's just a beautiful thing. They're learning that how to make money online. They're learning how to put their money to work for them on a regular basis. They're learning. And they, in a sense, is becoming the first anti-college generation. I don't see anything. I don't see anything wrong with that. I think that should be commended because they are like, look, we need to. We know that there's no such thing as a pension. All right, we know that's a fraud. We know that a 401k it's not going to cut it. That's a fraud if you don't do right by your money and whatnot. If you're not financially literate, if you don't even know where your money's being invested, if you don't know what the fees are to your plan, a lot of people just don't know and don't want to know. Like in today's world, you can't really say I don't know. You can say let me look it up. That's the world we live in today, and I actually admire the fact that we can say that. Um, and if we can't find it, well, we can at least say we researched it, then we did not come to a conclusion, or we came to this specific conclusion, and we can go from there. So that's the beautiful thing about today's world. So, but this is a millennial friendly video tonight. Okay, I'm on late. It is what it is. I'm going to celebrate my buddy's birthday tomorrow, so I'm taking the day off from work tomorrow. But this is a very millennial friendly video for the simple fact that um, the regular scheduled programming of going to school and getting a job and settling down with the picket fence and whatnot is basically dying. It's not dead yet, but in a sense, it is dying. But for the simple fact that the rules of engagement in regards to what life is going to be like now with the global reset, thank you to the COVID-19 crisis and technology, people get it. People understand it. So let's get into it. Let's really, 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 really get into it. Because everybody, the big news about student loan forgiveness by the Biden administration, anything wrong with that? I don't see a problem with it at all because the thing is, any sort of forgiveness, there's always a gift and curse to it. And governments, federal, state, and local, they do things like the governor of Virginia, he issued out a tax credit to most workers of Virginia and whatnot, because one, the Virginia state government is very rich because we have a income state tax, and two, um, he did it for one. But all parties does this for political clout. Everybody wants to make it seem like it's one party versus the other. They all do this for political clout, but then two, they know that this money is going to go back into the economy. Any sort of tax incentive and stimulus package is for it to go back into the economy. Anything wrong with that? No. But most people don't want to understand that. The stimulus checks that went out during the Obama administration, Trump administration, now the Biden administration, it's all to put the money back into the economy, all put back into the economy, whether you're paying bills off, whether you're paying your local and federal government off, whether you are going out to shop and whatnot. Ergo, money moves are being made all the time. That's why I just, it vexes me in today's world where a lot of people, not all, but a lot of people want to live a life where they're not trying to learn about financial intelligence on any level, because that's the sexiest thing on the planet. And that's why I always got to show love to the Black Business School with Dr. Boyce Watkins, By the Hood University, EY University, and any other channel out there. Graham Stephan, um, Meet Kevin, the Minority Mindset. I have to give love and respect to them because they are putting out the information that matters in regards to financial intelligence and making money moves in various different levels. All right. Now, this article came out back on the 9th of September. Still can't believe we're in October already. Borrowers in 7 states may be taxed on their student loan cancellation and whatnot. Now, remember, I'm not doing Democrats and Republicans. What I am saying is everything is a business in the United States of America. Is there anything wrong with that? No. But knowing that, then you know the rules of engagement when you're dealing with life. That's all it is. When you get distracted by the fallacies of what's today's stupid thing that's out there, Kanye West and Candace Owens, two paid for puppets, wore the all White Lives Matter t-shirts and whatnot. They do this stuff because one, their paymasters tell them to, or two, that they're doing this for clout. That's all it is, you know. And because I know that, I can laugh at it and be like, okay, whatever. They're two rich people that are just trying to get attention to make sure that to keep their paymasters happy. That's all it is. At the end of the day. And anybody involved with politics, whether they're a Democrat or Republican, they're putting out nonsense to make the paymasters happy. I said it. It is what it is. I think most reasonable people get that, and other people that just want to believe in nonsense don't get it. And it is what it is. Life goes on, like I said. But anyways, okay. Because most of the times, like even like Kanye West, I know him because of music, and now for the last couple of years, I know him because he just does stupid stuff, and he knows that people love stupidity, and that way, that's how you keep people talking about him and whatnot. But two, um, Candace Owens never would have even known who she was until she decided to become the speaker for the Republican Party and say stupid stuff so she can get paid and get attention. So it's all the same. It's all the same thing at the same time. Like I don't even particularly care for politics, but that's the most stupidest thing I've seen today. So I had to, put it out there. I just thought it was funny, because like I said, ignorance is bliss, and we live in a world now where being rich and ignorant and portraying yourself as an ignorant buffoon is the coolest thing on the planet. And you don't even have to be a rapper or an actor to do that anymore. So it is what it is. But anyways, the article says when federal student loan borrowers take a breath from celebrating the cancellation, some or all of the loans of the federal student loans, millions of them, could be in for a nasty surprise because sweeping federal student loan debt relief won't be subject to federal income tax in 7 states. Borrowers may have to pay state income tax on all those canceled loans and whatnot. And remember, family, as a working person, you're going to pay a tax one way or the other. Whether you live in Texas, California, New York, New Mexico, you're going to have to pay a tax on some. If it's not even to a government, it's going to be to a corporation. That's just the way the game goes. All right. As a former coworker says, they always find a way to even itself out unless you're rich. If you're a working person, they're going to find a way to even itself out. So it is what it is. Before 2021, student debt cancellation was generally considered a form of income and therefore taxable at the federal and usually state level. But March 2021, American Rescue Plan changed that at least temporarily until the end of 2025. Congress said the U.S. government will not consider canceled student loan debts to be taxable income. Um, and now the debt cancellation plan, the federal exemption is really big. That's because most places follow the federal government's lead when it comes to income tax. Majority of states that have an income tax essentially essentially say whatever the federal government says is gross income. We say the same thing. Explains John Brooks. And at the end of the day, before I go, because this is a biased article, so I'm not going to read too much into it. But I will say that when it comes to taxes, I'm not a CPA. Consult your own CPA, or if you do your own taxes, then you might want to do your own research. But when it boils down to it, they're going to find a way to even itself out. It's like I always throw the example. I got nothing against Texas. I'm actually going to Texas in a couple of weeks. I got nothing against Florida. I'm not a fan of going there, but I got nothing against it. And my heart goes out to the people that were in the hurricane too. Definitely, people that lost, people that you know had power outages, the whole nine. So it's nothing to play around with. But anyways, so in Texas and Florida, there's no income state tax. However, it's a state that they make it easier for you to buy property. However, your majority of the time, your property taxes are going to be even higher. And in certain parts of Florida, specifically Miami, there's 3 to 5 to 10, $20 million homes all over the place. It's a city for rich people. And most of the coastal cities are becoming that way in Florida. So Florida's on its way to being a gentrified state, but most people don't want to have that conversation. And with it being a red state, same thing in Texas. They have no income state tax, but you have um, you have a very high sales taxes and you have very high personal property taxes on your homes and whatnot. Anything wrong with that? Absolutely not. Because governments have to make a money one way or the other, just like corporations have to make money one way or the other. Everything's about the almighty dollar down to the freaking T, regardless who's sitting in the White House, governor's house, or mayor's house. So I just have to keep saying that. So these are the states where borrowers may be taxed for loan cancellations: North Carolina, Indiana, Mississippi, Arkansas, Minnesota, that's number 5, and Wisconsin, number 6, and California, number 7. So you got a mixture of red states, blue states, and purple states. I'm not going to get into the additional detail um, because, like I said, this article is very biased. But I will say that it doesn't it doesn't get redder than Mississippi. So, that's all I can say. It doesn't get bluer than California. That's all I can say. Indiana red, North Carolina for the most part red. So, Minnesota's like purple, so Arkansas is purple. So I think Wisconsin could be purple. So I think that's the beautiful thing about it. But at the end of the day, if you live in those states, you may be subject to specific state taxes. Consult your CPA, do your own research. I'm not going to go too involved and whatnot. But at the end of the day, because this is a biased article trying to bash federal government versus state government nonsense, and I don't got time for that nonsense. I'm just saying if you live in those states, and I will read them off again: California, North Carolina, Indiana, Mississippi, Arkansas, Minnesota, Wisconsin. You may be subject to additional state taxes when it comes to student loan cancellations. All right, so just wanted to put that out there because, like I said, people like to get biased for no reason, and I'm not going to take no Democratic or Republican stance. I don't got time for that. Life's too short. But I will say that at one time I was actually very close to getting a student loan, and I'm glad I didn't. At one time, um, even when I was getting my master's degree, I remember that everybody and their mother was, talking about doing it. And I remember everybody and the mother was like, "Oh, hey, oh, you want to do this? Oh, you got the military benefit. Why don't you just get the loan anyways? Or what was it? Or if I say, yeah, I'm going to utilize the job I was working at my employer, tuition reimbursement program. I would just put it on my credit card, and then when I get the grades, that the company would reimburse me and things of that nature. And it was like, well, why would you want to do that? Why don't you just take the loans or whatnot? I'm just like, I'm good. I'm good. So it is what it is, you know. But at the end of the day, it was very, very interesting just to see that. So, like I said, if you live in those states, it's something you might want to check out. And here's another aspect to look into when it comes to this being millennial friendly um, live stream. You know, um, here's a lot of people, look for specific jobs. And one thing I can say with sincerity, one of the best places to try to get a job with is the federal government. And the reason why I say that is because you get great benefits, you get great medical insurance, great life insurance, tuition reimbursement programs. What else? Then you have obviously the opportunity to make a difference in the United States government. And another thing to take into consideration when you're trying to get a home loan or a business loan, you have the opportunity to get better access to capital because you have a job for the most part, unless you commit a crime or just as that, unless you commit a crime or you're just that horrible on the job. You have opportunity to actually you have opportunity to actually get more access to capital and things of that nature because your employment is looked very differently by the banks compared to being working for a small business or a corporate America, things of that nature. So, and then obviously you get the sorry, I'm still recovering from my sickness from last week. You'll get the opportunity. Excuse me a second. You have the opportunity to be able to contribute to a 401k plan, which is known as the TSP, thrift savings plan, things of that nature. So there's some nice highlights to it. And another thing I want to say with sincerity, that I want to go over the list of the actual most millennial friendly government agencies that are out there. And that's another thing to take into consideration. And if you wanted to become a government contractor, look at it like this. I've not done this, but I've seen people that have done this. I've talked to people who try to mentor me into doing this. If you've worked in the federal government for a specific amount of time and you think that there's a need that you could provide in regards to contracting opportunities, like I said, I'm from the DMV area, and the federal government, state government, and local government, I've seen make people millionaires and whatnot because they provide specific services for those government entities. So government contracting is definitely a way of life. It's not going anywhere anytime soon, and I commend it. It's help government agencies fulfill their missions. Two, it's allowed other people to become richer, and then three, it's actually provided jobs all over the world. So I think it's a win-win situation. But so the agencies that are most millennial friendly are the number one, Nuclear Regulatory Commission (NRC), um, NASA, National Aeronautics and Space Administration. Number three, Federal Trade Commission. Number 4, Department of Commerce. Number 5, Federal Energy Regulatory Commission. Number 6, Office of Personal Management, OPM. Number 7, Environmental Protection Agency. Number 8, Department of State. Number 9, Department of Treasury. And number 10, Pensions Benefits Guaranteed Corporation. And I will definitely commend people being able to work for the Pensions Benefits Guaranteed Corporation, Department of Treasury, Department of State. Especially with Department of State, you get an opportunity if you're a person who loves to travel, you have an opportunity to travel and get to learn possibly new languages, and get to live in other different countries all at the same time. So it's not a great opportunity. I'm a fan of money, so Department of Treasury, that's a great institution to even work for. And then the Pension Benefit Guaranteed Corporation. Well, think about it. Maybe if you wanted to, if you got good at a pension, any sort of pension position, and you had the opportunity to maybe open up your own pension fund. And hey, you got the inside track in regards to working for this entity. Obviously, you have to quit working for them if you didn't want to work for them for 30 years. But it's an opportunity for you to make a money move by working for these specific agencies. Department of Commerce, if you wanted to learn more how the economy actually works. Federal Trade Commission. And if you're a space geek, that's another thing to take into consideration. Working for NASA. So those are the ones that I would definitely endorse because I'm a space geek in a sense, and I love money. So FTC, DOC, DOT, they're speaking my language. So like I said, very millennial friendly video we were making tonight. Um, but when it boils down to college, my mindset in 2022 going into 2023, I will say that there's no point of going unless you're going to be a doctor, lawyer, engineer, IT specialist, or you're just going to get a skill, going to like a local community college to get a skill trade, get a certification in something. I don't see the point of people going to college anymore unless, and if you're going into any specific medical field, there has to be something specific, that you can get a job in. All those other degrees that have nothing to do with you getting a specific job, unless you're just trying to be a teacher, and good luck with that because teachers barely get paid crap anymore, then go for it. That's just one thing I will say with all sincerity. All right. So, anyways, last but definitely not least, all right. This because I wanted to end this off because, like I said, this is definitely a millennial friendly video tonight. A woman quits her job. Okay, remember I made a video a couple weeks ago about a woman in Phoenix, Arizona, quitting her job just by having an OnlyFans page and become basically creating her own online course to teach other people how to have the best OnlyFans page and became a millionaire off of it. Well, this millennial, and this is back in July 2020. Like I said, 2020 was the time of the global reset. Being away from work for a lot of people helped shape and change their lives for a long time. It definitely changed most people's perspective in regards to how their lives are going to move forward and how the world works and whatnot. But having and that's why I said a lot of times people don't realize. Sometimes, not all the times, but sometimes people go into prison or people even going overseas and getting away from everybody, or people just sitting at home can be the best freaking thing on the planet for somebody to happen. Why? Because they have time to think, cultivate, collaborate, and educate themselves on specific things on how they want to do things in life. This young lady named Alice Everdeen quit her job, her 9 to 5, to pursue a voiceover acting side hustle. And she says she makes more money and works fewer hours. And that's the new freedom nowadays. People don't realize that. That is the new freedom in today's world. Being able to make the same amount of money or more, but work less hours. Or being able to do that, being able to work less hours and being able to especially being able to make money online to the point to where you never have to you have opportunity to live where you want to live and not be stuck going in a place that you don't particularly care for because your job is there. And that is the new freedom nowadays. That's why, and a lot of corporate employers get that. That's why a lot of corporate employers, especially the big time corporations, have allowed people to work from home indefinitely because it's just a win-win situation. So if somebody wants to live in a foreign country, maybe live in Colorado, Montana, Mississippi, Alabama, they can. I remember hearing the story of a person who was retired and the organization that she worked for wanted her to come back, and she was working in Virginia, but she's like, no, my family's in Georgia. I'm staying in Georgia. So if you want me to come back, I need to be able to telework 100%. It only have to come to Virginia maybe every couple of months or whatnot. And like, ain't y'all gonna pay for me to come to Virginia? And they said deal, because that's how invaluable she is to the organization. I like that, and that is the way forward when it comes to employment. Okay, for a lot of people, especially in the white collar world. And hey, corporate America is going to save you a lot of money in the long run by you just investing into the IT infrastructure and not having to worry about having as many commercial buildings and go from there. But anyways, 2.5 years ago, Alice Everdeen worked 50 hours per week and made $42,000 per year as a content manager for a supplement company. She says, but working at an office didn't fulfill her. So she left her 9 to 5 and started pursuing her voiceover acting side hustle full time. So she was already doing this. A lot of times, a side hustle can become full time if you're good at it, and if you have the right skill set and the right clientele, et cetera and so forth. Now she makes up to $15,000 per month. Let me repeat that. This young lady went from making $42,000 a year to $15,000 per month, according to the documents reviewed by CNBC. Last year, she earned a total of 102,000 while working for clients like Amazon, Southwest Airlines, and OnlyFans, and in far fewer hours than her old job required. She says, "I would say I work like 3 to 5 hours per day." Um, and she's only 31 years old. She used the extra income to renovate a school bus into a livable space, which costs about $80,000 with her boyfriend. The couple plans to start traveling across the United States in the bus on Monday, Everdeen says. Not a fan of doing that, but I understand a lot of people that do that. I get it. A lot of people live in campers. You have a lot of camper communities. If you've ever been to Arizona, Nevada, in California, you see a bunch of those there. But I know that's all over the country, so it's not just there. But I'm not. I remember this is years before the pandemic. This one couple, they would go from one part of the country to another part of the country living in a van or living in a camper. They would shower at hotels or local rec center facilities or YMCA's and things of that nature. Stay in a hotel every now and then, but a lot of people love living a nomadic lifestyle, and even a lot of times, people that live that lifestyle, they'll end up just getting side hustle gigs online, or they'll just get some seasonal work. There's one guy named Timothy Ward. He left Florida to move to Montana or was it Wyoming, to get work in a seasonal capacity and whatnot with hotels. He was just got tired of living the regular mundane 9 to 5 lifestyle and whatnot, and he wanted to be a little bit nomadic. And now he lives in Colorado full time, but he wouldn't trade his lifestyle for the world. And I understand it and I get it. I mean, I'm kind of getting at that point in my life right now, but that's another story for another day. That will be to be continued. But because just living a lot of people just living the basic 9 to 5 lifestyle is just not for them. It really isn't. Living in the gated community, the picket fences community, the small boring town really isn't for them. The basic lifestyle isn't for them, and I don't think people should be penalized for that. you know but anyway, she says we feel like we've made it as adults by our standards. Everdeen says we want to follow our dreams rather than what we're told we should do. I will repeat that again. We want to follow our dreams rather than what we are told we should do. I'm not mad at that. They got a dog. I gotta put this picture up. This is cute. But yeah, it's like I'm honestly not mad at that because you know a lot of people, I always say this, a lot of people end up having their midlife crisis because um they end up having their midlife crisis because they are not they have their midlife crisis because they're not able to, unfortunately, live a lifestyle on their own terms, and because they've been living a lifestyle on everybody else's terms. And I just find that to be sad all at the same time. Real talk. Hold on a second, family. I think I need to refresh um, something. So give me a second. All right, sorry about that for having a technical issue. Um I was going to share the screen, but I can't do it today because what is it? Let's say present. No. Yeah, because I added my YouTube um to the stream late, so apologies for that, family. But anyways, at the end of the day, I got nothing but love and respect for what these people have done. There's a picture of the camper on here. It was very, very great. This is like one of my favorite stories that I read today. Um, and it's like I said, when you live life on your own terms, to me, it's a life that it's a beautiful thing. I've lived around people, I've worked around people who have done everything by the book, and they just to me can look like the most miserable individuals on the planet. Don't end up like that. But anyways, the article says there's a reason why Everdeen keeps short, strict hours. She says burnout. She says she learned to set hard boundaries to avoid exhaustion and complacency. Those symptoms rear their heads in strange ways. Years ago, as a new producer at MSNBC, she found herself regularly staying at the office hours past her shift, even after work was done. It's not good when I want to stay at work longer. It means I'm distracting myself and not dealing with whatever is going on in my personal life. She stated, I realize I poured myself into my work when I'm not feeling fulfilled in life. A lot of people do that. A lot of people, I worked for a person who they were not fulfilled in life at all. So they poured everything, they were the best employees on the planet. They poured everything into their job. And it was the saddest freaking sight on God's green earth. And that's why, like, what is it, like your job, love your life, love your significant other, love your kids, love your life. you know Even if you're not married, don't have kids, love your life. Don't love your job to that point. She stated sometimes she feels those burnout symptoms creeping in. She struggles getting out of bed to take her dog for morning walks, finds herself mindlessly scrolling on TikTok, or checks her fire accounts in the middle of the night for incoming orders. She makes 80% of her income on freelancing platforms, she says. I used to get notifications from fire, and when the noise would go off, it triggered this dopamine release in my brain, where I was like money. She says I was hyper focused on my phone and responding to messages immediately. Slower months were worse, she says. Without the constant notifications, she was filled with self-doubt. It's really easy to look at those metrics and overthink. She said, I questioned myself and wonder what I could have done differently to be more successful. And we all do. I mean, I think that's normal for anybody in life. Even if you are the most confident individual on the planet, it's especially being nomadic and being a freelancer, being a business owner, you will question yourself and go, like Nipsey Hussle said, go through every single emotion on the planet. It's very normal. Okay. It's very, very, very normal. A job stage survey released in April showed that 28% of employees reported burning out over the last year. More than one third have reported they had experienced depression, lack of motivation, or anxiety because of work. That's largely due to unreasonably high expectations, experts say. We live in a period in which there is a tremendous mandate for happiness. A therapist stated, Esther Perel, author and podcast host, told CNBC, Make It in June. You have to find meaning, belonging, purpose, and self development at work. It's overpacked with expectations. And here's my thing about a job: do your job, go home. Very simple. Don't Because a lot of times people, if you don't have purpose in life outside of your job, then I don't think you ever will find purpose with your job. Yeah, I've worked around a lot of people who they have no life. The pandemic showed that they have no life. Not being in the office was the worst thing on the planet for them. They had no purpose to fulfill in life outside of their job. Especially the ones who have become empty nesters and their kids were gone. Because they were when their kids were living with them, they were living vicariously through their children. And now that the kids are grown and they're older, they the purpose that they had in life was to have a job. And to me, that's the saddest thing on the planet. Be great at your job, be the employee of the month, year, quarter, whatever, but have purpose outside of your freaking job. I don't care what you do for a living. Even have purpose outside of your business. There's a reason why you rich people, like when Jeff Bezos, what was it, when he went to space for the first time, he said it was the greatest moment of his life. You know, he accomplished so many things, But he said going to space was the greatest moment in his life. Can't beat that at all. Okay, have purpose outside of your job and outside of your business. The articles ended on this note saying to combat burnout, Mrs. Everdeen says she never checks her emails past 5 p.m., which is smart. She also ensures her evenings are filled with activities that actually fulfill her, like cooking with her boyfriend, working to renovate the bus, and soon traveling. She says she's also hired a virtual assistant to help her with organizational tasks and editing, which is smart. I don't care what kind of business you have, you got to have some sort of assistant. Don't try to do it all because you will burn out. She says working a few hours doesn't mean she isn't passionate about her voiceover career. She says rather it's about making sure her daily life is sustainable. It took a long time to learn how to let go of what doesn't matter. She stated, paying $4,000 a month for rent and then working 60 hours a week is not what I want to do. I know that's right. And that's just what it is. Life, and that's what it is. And life is about being able to fulfill your purpose. Life is about living where you want to live, living how you want to live, you know, and life is about being able to have the biggest person, richest people on the planet are the ones who wake up every day with purpose and are excited about life, not the people that are just on the grind. And I make sure next time when I put the stream together that all my streams together. So I'll leave it at that. So not just Facebook and YouTube. So do the great thing for things, family. Like, share, and subscribe. Hopefully you guys have a great day. And as I always say, make money moves or you're going to live broke like a fool. And as Booker T, the wrestler, would say,
don't hate the player, hate the game. Michael.